Hey everybody, welcome to Kitchen Talk with Granna. So glad you guys can come up in the kitchen with me today. I really appreciate all the support you guys have shown me over the last 7 months now. So I'm really excited about that. I enjoy coming to you guys weekly and just talking to you guys about some of the things that be going on with me and some of the things that be going on in this crazy world of ours, okay? But before we get started with this video today, I need you to go ahead and look down there, right on down there at the bottom of your screen. Go ahead and give me that thumbs up button. I need you to share my video with all your family and friends. And if you have not become a follower of mine, I need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become one of my followers, okay? All right, so today we're gonna go ahead and get it popping up in here in the kitchen. We're gonna talk about the school getting ready to reopen and what's going on with that, okay? But before we get started, I do want to go ahead and send a shout out to my grandson. Today is actually his birthday, and Aiden, happy birthday to you, love you. And also on tomorrow, my son-in-law's birthday, CJ, happy birthday to you, and I hope you're having a great day. All right, so we got we know, August is approaching, and a lot of the schools are talking about reopening. They're setting the date back a little bit, but they're still talking about reopening up the school system. So I don't know. I have a lot of questions about this. I don't know how it's going to work. They're saying that they're going to do the best that they can and come up with the best solution for the children and the parents and the teachers and everybody. I know, I guess a few weeks ago, or maybe back in June, they were sending out different surveys to the families with different options for the upcoming school year. They had the virtual learning on there. They had partial days at school. They had happening up to school where half of the kids go one day and half of the kids go another day. They had all these different options that they was giving the parents the opportunity to speak on, and I guess once they got all that information back and they calculated it and looked at it, they picked the best plan that they thought would work for the upcoming school year. And that was to, open the schools back up and the kids go back to school, And of course they're saying that they're going to have all the health issues, concerns at the front door, and they're going to have your sanitized stations throughout the schools. They're going to be closing off the water fountains so no one can drink from them. They're going to be closing down the cafeteria where the kids cannot actually go into the cafeteria. The meals would be brought into the classrooms and they would eat in the classrooms, and they was trying to have the desks, 6 feet apart and all that. But my thing is, how are they going to be able to do that? Because I know some of these classrooms have up to 19, 20 students in them. And the classrooms are not that big, with all the different supplies and things that they have in these classrooms. How are you going to be able to social distance the kids? How are you going to be able to do that? How are you going to guarantee the parents that these children are going to keep these masks on, because it's mandatory that they have their masks and all kids have masks on throughout the school day? How are you going to be able to control that? I mean, it might be a little easier for them to control it when it comes to your upper middle class students and your high school students. But when you're talking about like 5th grade and down, I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, it's going to be hard enough to just keep these kids in this classroom all day, because they're talking about, not letting them go out on the playgrounds and stuff like that. So it's going to be hard enough to just keep them in these classrooms on top of wearing their masks the whole day, on top of limiting their activities. It's going to be a lot to control, you know. So I do worry about all that. I am very concerned because I do have grandchildren that's going to be going in school, you know, from the first grade all the way up to middle school. So I do think about that, you know, and I know it's new for the school system. This is something new for them, and I know they're working hard to come up with the best solution. And I know a lot of parents probably did check for the kids to be back in school because they don't have that extra time or are able to work from home and do the virtual learning and, you know, all that it takes to do the online schooling. You know, parents have to go outside of the home to work. Parents don't have that extra daycare time that they are money to pay for the extra daycare or any of that. You know, so I see all that, and I know it's going to be a change. You know, it's going to be a big change for people. You know, I saw a couple of different plans that they were sending out, and I don't know who all is on the board or what all they're doing when they're coming together to make these changes for this upcoming school year and stuff, but there are programs out there for online academy schools from kindergarten to high school, and I know these online academies cost money, and I'm not saying that that's something that the school system should do, but I think that's something they need to reach out to that resource and use that resource to get some type of feedback. You know, ask them questions, ask them what are they doing to be successful in this online academy, in this online schooling for your kindergarten, you know, all the way up to your high school students. They need to reach out to some of these facilities and find out what works and what doesn't work, because these are things that these different facilities have been doing for years, and I'm sure they can have a lot of helpful information and helpful ideas and tips that they can give these city schools and these county schools, you know, to help them along this, you know, this path. You know, and of course, when you're paying for these online academies, you're getting the education, you're getting, you know, one-on-one teachers, and you're getting, you know, what the students are getting, what they need, and they got the curriculums all worked out, and everything is worked into their school plan throughout the day, you know. And that was one of the things that I know some of the parents had concerns with, you know, when the kids got out of school back in March. You know, they got out like a week or two before spring break. And once that spring break was over with, coming into like the 1st of April, they was doing the online, you know, with the teachers. And, you know, with that, there were some teachers that was very consistent, very involved, and was reaching out to the parents and emailing and making sure the parents had a head up, or had a, you know, a few days advance, at least a week or so in advance of what their plan was and what they had going on. And then you had some other teachers over here for whatever reason, and they could have had their reason for not being as involved, because they could have had their own children that they was trying to school, but they was a teacher first, so they was not as consistent with their plans and reaching out to the parents and being consistent with their students. And when they would go online, and it was just chaos. It wasn't any control, you know. It was just chaos with some of the online classes that the teachers was doing, you know. So, and like I said, I understand this is new for everybody. And I understand some of these teachers, a lot of the teachers do have children themselves. So not only do they have to provide for their students, they also have to teach their own kids and balance that and do that along with everything else. You know, I feel like if there are parents that are able to stay home and do want to virtually teach their kids or have their kids at home continually. When school open back up, they should have that choice to do that, you know, if they're able to do that. You know, like I said, these kids have been out of school, they've been in the house, they've been, you know, quarantined as all of us have. And, you know, after a while, kids get all antsy and, you know, they need that activity. You know, they need to have that interaction with other students. You know, as people, we all need an interaction with other people. You know, so I believe that they do need to come up with a solution where they are in the school. You know, maybe they can do like a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday inside the school, in the classrooms, and they can happen it up. They can have on those days, in the mornings, they can have, you know, so many kids for so many classes. If you get 4 classes of kindergartens and 4 classes of first graders or second grader, third graders, fourth graders, you can do like 2 classes in the mornings of the kindergarten, first graders, 2 classes of third grade, fourth grade. They can happen that up and balance that out. So in the mornings, you got half of your students coming to school. In the afternoon, you have the other half of your students coming to school. Like I said, when they get out for lunch, then they go home for lunch, and then after lunch is over with, from 12:30 to 2:45, the other kids come to school and they do their in school, and, you know, kind of balance it out so that all the kids are having that interaction with other students, and they're getting that in classroom time, and they're also doing the other time online and doing what they need to do. But then they need to also have it set up where the online is consistent and is set up so the kids are getting their education. They're getting what they need. Because there are going to be some kids, when they come to the online, as we've already seen, that is not going to get what they need. You know, a lot of kids need that one-on-one. You know, all kids are not on the same level. They're not. You got some that's here, you got some here, you got some here. So all kids are different. They're on different levels. So you got to be able to work that out and get that balance in place. It's just got to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't really know how this is going to work out. It's going to be interesting. I am going to sit back and pray that everything works out and they come to a even balance. They get it all balanced out evenly. And these kids, our children, get that education that they need and get that time that they need, okay? Now, that's just my opinion. I don't know how it's going to work out. If you guys got an opinion out there about the school opening back up, make sure you send me a comment. We're going to all have to sit this out and wait and see what happens, but I'm praying for our children that they're safe and they have everything worked out and in place come August, or whenever they're letting these kids go back to school, August, September, they have it together. But we already know from the scientists that come the fall, this whole coronavirus is supposed to flare all up again, and it's going to get out of control again. So once the fall comes, don't be surprised that they have to close these schools back down coming into like November, December, close it down, you know. So, you know, kind of be prepared for that, okay? All right, you guys, y'all have a great day. Thank you for hanging out in the kitchen with me today. Everybody you come in contact with, just be kind to people. Just be kind. Make sure you're wearing your mask. Make sure you're still practicing all your good hygienes and everything. And just have a great day. And I'll see you guys next time around, okay?